Just as importantly as we celebrate the multitudes of unsung heroes whose everyday efforts bring progress and unity to families, communities, and our nation. All of us have mashujas in our lives. We give thanks to that aunt who sacrifices her comforts to pay for school fees or hospital fees. The local policeman who turns up every day for work, ready to apprehend dangerous criminals. Our nurses and doctors who go beyond the call of duty to soothe our pain and give us hope. We are grateful for those who mentor the young, the philanthropists whose charities save lives and bring relief to the orphaned, the poor, the sick, and the hungry. They are just as great mashujas as our heroic freedom fighters, Koitalel Arap Samoei, Mekatalili, Dedan Kimathi, Jomo Kenyatta, Oginga Odinga, and those men and women such as Wangari Maathai and Professor Ali Mazrui and others who have used their education to open our eyes to the most pressing challenges of the day. Our gratitude is deeply felt for their sacrifices and confirm that we are one, and that this unity in caring for one another will make us greater than the sum of our individual parts. To reap lasting benefit from the simultaneous implementation of devolution and regional integration, this requires a united people. Unfortunately, too many of our leaders are masters at shouting at one another, seeking headlines more than real development, and using every ethnic and religious difference to try and split us apart. The immense promise of Kenya will only be realized if we all insist that they change their ways and become masters of listening to one another, that they compete to create headlines announcing concrete development achievements, and that their words and actions reflect a desire to serve Kenyans. Fellow citizens, this present era of our republic was inaugurated 4 years ago when we adopted a people-centered constitutional order. We came to that celebrated pass through a united, century-old effort to overthrow colonial oppression and to build an independent but democratic Kenya. In celebrating our renewed republic, we should strive to remember that colonialism was ultimately a brutal undermining of the rule of law that our forefathers had lived by. It therefore follows that upholding our Constitution is a daily reclamation of what was initially lost to colonial rule. It is by living under laws and rules of our own making that we are a sovereign people whose collective will must never be subordinate to any other. Yet there are forces that seek to reverse our progress, to interfere in the affairs of our nation, and to rupture our unity. These actors have positioned themselves as the gatekeepers and interpreters of Kenya in various capitals. If they were to succeed, they would so completely rob us of faith in each other that we would have to put our destiny in the hands of unelected, unaccountable institutions that answer elsewhere. This, however, will not happen as long as my government is in place. I am pledged to protect our sovereignty and to advance our constitutional democracy. I will do so without hesitation and with no favor or let-up. As a start, my government will insist on transparency of resource mobilization and utilization in and outside the public sector. This, fellow citizens, is especially important in enabling us to successfully combat the Al-Shabaab terrorists and their local sympathizers. Our democratic space, with its right to free speech and association, gives them the opportunity to use exaggerated, dishonest claims of victimhood to radicalize and to recruit Kenyan youth. Their funding and activities must be uncovered at all times to put a stop to their campaign to kill innocent Kenyan civilians and brave members of our security forces. My fellow Kenyans, the threat of terrorists to our democracy is profound. They are part of a networked global movement that, even as I speak, is destroying lives and entire communities in Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and Libya. Thousands of foreign fighters are streaming into terrorist campaigns worldwide from even the richest and most advanced democracies. They perpetrate attacks such as the ones we have suffered at Westgate, Gikomba, Thika Highway, and Peketoni. Not as a response to any action or inaction by our government or people, but because they seek to terrorize us into helplessly acceding to their evil vision of a society in which women are virtually slaves, where there is no freedom of religion, of speech, or indeed of any democratic choice. Like leeches, they feed on the disunity arising from local leaders whose constant negativity divides our communities and causes false ethnic and religious antagonisms. My government will intensify efforts to stamp out incitement. We will insist, with every legal tool at my disposal, that the use of public pulpits by all leaders, teachers, preachers, and imams be lawful and focused on building national cohesion. As we undertake these efforts, let us also take the time to honor and to celebrate our men and women in uniform who serve at home and abroad. These patriots who daily risk their lives to bring stability to neighboring Somalia by waging war against a ruthless organization. Some of them have paid the ultimate price in the line of duty. As their commander-in-chief, I call on you to join me in honoring them all. Our best tribute to them is to make sure they feel our gratitude. We too should also play our part by denying criminals space to operate. This will be achieved by our participating in the Nyumba Kumi program. Since its inception, numerous plans by extremists and terrorists have been foiled with the assistance of Kenyans. Our country will become safe, neighborhood by neighborhood, through the involvement of each and every one of us. Fellow Kenyans, it is not only terrorists and criminals that make us feel uncertain. Many of us wonder what the future holds for us in terms of securing the education and skills that will enable us to secure a decent livelihood. This is especially the case with our youth. My government has commenced on a number of transformative initiatives aimed at the creation of millions of jobs. Foremost are the large-scale infrastructure projects that we have initiated that will accelerate our country's economic development. One of these is in expanding energy production so that we can sharply lower the cost of electric power, and I believe that your power bills next month will tell you that this is indeed a reality. By 2017, we intend to add 5,000 megawatts of green, clean, and reliable power to our national grid. Cheaper power, delivered through faster connection, will instantly improve food production and agro-processing. Manufacturing firms will be more competitive and expand their production. The results in the agricultural sector, which is still the major employer of Kenyans, and in manufacturing, which is our route to becoming a wealthy nation, will be the creation of more jobs. I want every young Kenyan to know that despite today's challenges, the future is bright. Your education, your ability to work hard, and to be open to the world that is the common gift of Kenya's diverse cultures combines to make you one of the most attractive workforces in the world. My government is working overtime to make sure that we enable your efforts and those of investors so that they can maximize use, they can make maximum use of your abilities. Fellow Kenyans, my recent call for volunteer health workers to go and help the West African nations being ravaged by Ebola has been responded to positively by dozens of brave men and women. I want to honor them for their compassion and generosity. The more we do to stop the virus spreading at its source, the safer our country and region will be. These heroic volunteers teach us of the indomitable spirits of our people. There is also an important lesson in the thousands of deaths from the crisis they are going to combat. And that is that weak state institutions, unable to properly deliver health and security services to all, are an invitation to disaster. It was not always this way in Africa. We got to this unfortunate result by too willingly adopting development paradigms that have systematically weakened our states for the last 30 years. This must be no more. We must refocus our efforts, and those of the entire world, on building effective governments whose services are accessible to all, accountable to all, and that have the extra resources to respond to shocks and emergencies. This is the duty of government and must not be outsourced to donor-funded entities whose efforts are aimed at relief and not at the comprehensive scale it takes to transform lives or respond to crisis. Having said this, it is important that we acknowledge that the greatest roadblock to effective government is corruption. Asking for bribes or paying them weakens systems and destroys hope. The the most heroic action you can take as a citizen is to ensure that in our counties, towns, cities, and villages, we denounce all forms of corruption and refuse to participate in this scourge. My government is working hard to use technology, better management, and transparency to eliminate loopholes used for corruption. Fellow citizens, I urge you to join me in recognizing that our individual aspirations are better realized in a political market space whose focus is on development, not endless, noisy, and unproductive politicking. My government is focused in doing everything possible to enable you to develop as an individual and a community. That is why I express gratitude to a group of our heroes who are rarely praised in occasions such as this. I am talking of the entrepreneurs whose persistence to build and to grow a business, whether small or big, requires that they overcome many disappointments and to take many risks. Their struggle to pay salaries every month, to open new markets, and to develop new products is heroic. It is the prosperity that they create which will allow us to offer the kind of education, health, and security we want for all our children. My government will do everything in its power to improve services and to lower the cost of doing business in order to assist them to exceed. Finally, dear Kenyans, I look ahead and see a great destiny waiting for us. I know that we will attain it because I lead a people who count millions of heroes among them and whose unity will be our shield and torch in the coming days. Nawashukuru Wakenya wote kwa sababu mimi naamini Wakenya wote ni mashujaa. Na naamini ya kwamba tukiwa na huo umoja ni mengi ambao tutaweza kutenda pamoja. Na ndipo mimi nitaendelea kusihi viongozi wenzangu ya kwamba siasa ya mgawanyiko, siasa ya chuki, siasa ya kikabila, siasa ya kidini tuweze tuiwache kando na tushike siasa ya maendeleo, siasa ya kuunganisha Wakenya wetu na siasa ya kutendea wananchi wetu, kwa sababu hilo ndilo jukumu letu. Hilo ndilo jukumu letu. Na ndipo tuwasema tukiwa na amani na umoja ni mengi ambayo tutaweza kutenda. Tukiwa na umoja haswa wa viongozi, Kenya hii twaweza tuibadilishe, hata sio mwaka wa 2030, mimi naamini by 2020 tunaweza kuwa na taifa ambalo sisi zote tuafurahia na tuajivunia. Na ndipo naendelea kusema ya kwamba kazi ambayo tutaendelea kufanya ikilenga haswa vijana na wakina mama wa taifa letu la Kenya, tunataka iwe kazi ya kuwainua na kuwasimamisha waweze kuungana na Wakenya wenzao kujenga taifa lao. Kazi ambayo tunaendelea naye Kibera, ambayo tunataka tuipeleke Mathare na kwingine. Tuwasema hakuna haja ya kusema ya kwamba tunagojea wengine wakuje watusaidie. Twaweza kutengeneza nchi yetu sisi wenyewe. Faida ni tushirikiane pamoja. Na ndipo napongeza vijana wetu. Na nawauliza Wakenya, haswa tujue ya kwamba ukosefu wa usalama utatuharibia au tukoseshe sisi tuwe hatuwezi kutimiza yale ambayo tungependa kutimiza katika taifa letu la Kenya. Usalama ni jukumu la kila Mkenya pahali popote alipo. Na ndipo tuendelea kuwauliza mkubali tuungane katika mradi huu sasa wa nyumba 10. Kila mtu awe mchungaji wa jirani wake. Kila mtu ajue ya kwamba jirani yake ndio anaweza amulinde, ndio anaweza amchunge. Tuwe macho, na tukipata lolote tuweze kupashia maofisa wa usalama kwa njia ya haraka. Na ndipo tuendelea kusema wale ambao wanaendelea kututisha na mambo ya ugaidi na mambo mengine, wakiongozwa na filosofia ya ujinga. Na ni filosofia ya ujinga kwa sababu mimi sijawahi kusikia Mungu ambaye anasema uende uue ndugu yako, dada yako. Kenya hii tuko na demokrasia na uhuru. Kila mtu ako na uhuru wa kuabudu, na katiba yetu yenyewe imesema hivi. Hawana haki ya kusema ya kwamba watoto wetu wasichana hawawezi kusoma. Katiba yetu imehakikisha ya kwamba kila mtoto lazima apatiwe nafasi ya kusoma. Kwenda kutuambia ya kwamba dini imesema mtoto hawezi kusoma, mimi sijawahi kusikia dini ambayo imesema watoto wasisome. Wote wako na haki ya kusoma. Na ndipo tuwasema lazima tuungane na tusidanganywe na mambo ya uchafu na ya kidini ambaye ni dini za uongo. Hakuna Muislamu, hakuna Mkristo ambaye anaamini kuua mwenzake au kuharibu mali ya mwenzake au kusimamisha watoto wetu wasiweze to be the best that they can be. There is no religion and no God that stands for that. Tusidanganywe. Wenzangu, sitaki mimi niwachokeshe na mengi. Yangu ni kuambia ya kwamba sisi serikali yetu iko imara. Sisi tumejitolea tufanye kazi, tubadilishe maisha ya mwananchi wa kawaida wa jamhuri hii yetu ya Kenya. Tuwauliza wa Kenya mkubali tushirikiane pamoja katika kazi hiyo. Na mimi sina shaka tukifanya hivyo tutapata ushindi. Ushindi ambao sisi zote tutafurahia. Kwa hayo machache na mengi, mimi nasema Mungu awabariki. Mungu awabariki mashujaa wetu wote, na tuendelee kuwa pamoja. Asanteni sana sana sana. Thank you very much.